indeed a proud day for AlphaOmegaSin and AlphaOmegaSon. So, me and my son got to beat a game together for the very first time just this past weekend. And it was a hallmark moment, so much so that I decided that I would make a video discussing some of the stuff because I know that there's many people out there that are parents and they're bringing up children and they play video games with them and the like. And there might even be people out there, you know, that are brothers and sisters and they have younger siblings and they play those games with them. And it's a neat little bonding experience because, you know, I think back to whenever I was little and I got to play video games on my original NES, my little 8-bit NES with my mom. And how much I like that because it was, you know, it's a hobby that obviously has stuck with me throughout the years. So, you know, I can reflect upon some of the stuff like that. I still remember very first video game I got great at was Super Mario Bros. 3, and I remember sitting around with, you know, my uncle, a bunch of his friends who, all of them were bikers, and my mom, and I'm sitting there playing Super Mario Bros. 3 game pass levels, even they couldn't. And this weekend, I got to sit there and play through the Skylanders game, which I bought for my son for Christmas, and we got to play through that on PlayStation 3, and I actually had him teach me how to play the game, which I thought would be kind of a funny experience. Because I could have went and learned how to play the game on my own, obviously, as a tutorial tells you what the fuck to do, but I wanted him to tell me and explain to me, you know, okay, this does this, and oh, and this character, it does this, and yada yada yada. So, he's explaining to me half the time, it's just hilarious, the way that kids will go and explain things. You know, he's a 7-year-old, so half the shit that he says, I'm just like, I already know what to do, but I find it amusing when you tell me, but altogether, he's got like 11 Skylander figures. He's got some Swap Force ones, the giant ones, and then just little regular ones. I got him a bunch of just random regular ones, such as Spyro, which is one I use for obvious reasons, because I'm a big fucking Spyro fan. You know, I think that Spyro looks ugly as fuck by comparison to how he used to look. It's just my opinion. But I ended up using him, and my son was getting frustrated because I only wanted to keep on using Spyro, so I tried to explain to him why. Like, over there I have my PlayStation 1 game, so I told him, said, you know, whenever I was younger, I played the Spyro games and stuff, and he's like, yeah, but these guys are so much cooler, look at him, he's a whale! I'm like, well, yeah, he's kind of badass and looks like somebody that would pop up as, like, a fucking cameo on Street Sharks and shit, or Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, but he's like, I'm wearing Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle! And it's like, you don't even care about what I'm saying. So, there was no explaining that shit to him at all. And admittedly, I used some of the other ones, mainly just so I could open up one of the doors, because you'll get to these great big doors and shit, and I'm like, well, you need this elemental type. And what they're really saying is, did you spend more money? I'm like, no, I didn't. Well, you can't get further. I'm like, oh, well, fuck me. And granted, you can go through the entire game without going off to the little side areas, because Skyland's like one hub world, and then they have all these other worlds and shit that you can go to, and they're just like little side areas and stuff where you find treasure and extra trinkets and shit, and yada yada yada, blah blah blah. So, playing through that, and, I mean, within the entire weekend, we played through half the game on both Saturday and Sunday, and on Sunday we finally got up to Chaos, and we ended up fighting him, which I have to admit, I was kind of geeked about Chaos, because the dude that did his voice, the same one who did Zim on Invader Zim, so I was all like, oh my god, it's fucking Zim, and I'm all fucking excited and shit about that, and my kid's just sitting there playing and stuff, not giving a shit, but I'm sitting there throwing a conniption fit about this, and I'm like, ah, that's so awesome! But it was really cool. It was. I know some people are like, oh man, you're playing Skylanders, so okay, I'm playing with my kid! Fuck you! I'll beat your ass! No, it's one of those things where I paid no mind to this game whatsoever, except for that's what he wanted for Christmas. So I got him a PlayStation 3, and I got him Skylanders. You know, I want to really make his Christmas. So I got him all this shit, and I find out, well, that's not the newest Skylanders that's out. Everybody actually wants this one, and you need to have all these, and I'm sitting there like, I talked to his mom about it, because she phones me up, and she's sitting there telling me, you know, he's really frustrated because he can't get through half these doors. I'm like, well, why? Well, you see on the bottom of them, there's like these little elemental symbols. I'm like, yeah? And she says, well, there's a lot of them. So, finally, I get him this weekend, and I gave him a whole bunch of other Skylanders. I gave him 6 more, so we could access all these different fucking areas. And it was kind of cool just going and beating the boss and stuff. We're high-fiving each other. Like, we kept on taking turns. Admittedly, there's a lot of times that I'm going through it, and I'm not even gonna shit you, but if you haven't gone anywhere near the game, which I can understand why you would have avoided it, but I was with my best friends too, and they both got to see the game. Like, they actually came down for a bit, and then we went up there. I even took the little TV, because I got that PlayStation TV, which is still sitting right there. Took PS3 and all that stuff, but they were watching. He said, "This shit's kind of like a little beat 'em up hack and slash deal. It kind of reminds us of Diablo, because you know you get lots of loot and shit. You're getting money and all other crap." I'm like, yeah, it is a interesting comparison, and it's kind of cool. Your little Skylanders level up and shit. Then we started having these deep conversations about how Nintendo ought to have an amiibo world just like that, you know, and really integrate them into that. So Jared and Sean, you know what the fuck I'm talking about. Just they know. I'm assuming one of them were watching this video. If not, yeah, I'll hit you up and I'll be like, "What the fuck do you watch a video? You motherfucker! You won't support your best friend!" Crying twin waterfalls. Thank you, Excel Saga. But proud daddy. You know, the fact that I got to go and do that, it was really neat. And I don't know, it's just one of those things. Like, Cinder get to watch him play was really interesting. There's a couple of times he'd have trouble and be like, "Oh, they keep on beating me up." So then I'd start getting really into it because everybody could hear in the house. Anytime if an enemy would end up like hitting me or something or depleting my fucking HP and shit, he'd be like, "Don't do that to my daddy! I'll beat you up! He can kill all of you!" it was cool having like my own little like pep squad and shit, just like rah, Siskumba, AlphaOmegaSin will fuck you up! Except for it's not said exactly like that, because, you know, he doesn't even give a damn I make videos. I'm like, well, you know, Daddy makes a lot of videos on YouTube. He's just like, "That's nice, blah, blah, blah." And then while I'm playing, he's getting real big into Yu-Gi-Oh! And Pokemon and Magic and shit, so he's like drawing up his own cards and then showing me, so he's making Pokemon and Skylander Yu-Gi-Oh! Cards and then showing me. And some of his shit, he tried making me feel dumb because I didn't know what some of the stuff was. Some of it would be like guns and shit. I'm like, "Is that a balloon?" He's like, "No, don't you even know what that is?" I'm like, "No, that's why I said it with a question mark." And he said, "Well, it's not a question mark." I'm like, "Damn it! Like, why you gotta talk to me like that, man? Why you gotta talk to me like that? You're little." It's funny shit, but yeah, I was just a story I thought would be kind of cool and thought it'd be interesting for other people to maybe share their experiences, or if you might want to make a video, you know, in response to this, like, "Well, here's some stuff that I got to do." Almost knocked that shit off of there, but yeah, now I'm getting to go and have that sharing bonding experience and stuff, and when he's with his mom and stuff, you know, at her house, they go and they play the game, except for she sucks real bad at the game according to everything that she says. So it's kind of funny to hear about what happens at both different places and how it's experienced and stuff. But it was really cool. It made me really proud and happy I got to do that, so much so that I want to make a video talking about it. And even if nobody gives a shit about this, you know, I'll be like, "I don't give a shit." Well, I do, so fuck you. But it seriously is. It's one of those things that, as gamers, you know, it's an entertainment medium. You know, the first time you get to watch stuff with your kids or really get into stuff with them. And this is something, not only did we get into a game together, I mean, we've played other games. We've played Super Smash Brothers and Super Mario Brothers and Mario Kart and stuff. We played all that stuff. We played a lot of the Lego games. But we didn't sit through from beginning to end on a game together, and I just thought that was neat, and it was a first for that. So if opinions and thoughts and all that stuff, yeah, you know, me and my cute-ass little kid who looks literally exactly like me at that age, it's just amusing, going and kicking the shit out of Skylanders. And now I have to go and get the other Skylander games. So, yeah, I'm kinda into it, I'll be honest. I'm getting into it with playing the game with him, but I hate it because it's a fucking money trap. Trust me when I say this, it's going to purge your wallet for all it's worth. It's no joke. This shit's just, it's intense. I'm like, why? Just why? Why do you do this to me, gaming? I'm just hoping that eventually it doesn't hit me up and be like, oh, Disney Infinity and we need all these amiibos and shit and all this other stuff. Cause I'm like, no, I'm taking out bank loans to support your nerdy habits, which I also have too. But that's beyond the point. So anyway, this has been AlphaOmegaSin. As always, nerds, nerdettes, and gamers, game the fuck on.